Hello, my name is Siobhan. I am a graduate student at Northern Vermont University. This past semester, I took a course titled Critical and Cultural Perspectives on Education. Our goal with the course was to answer the question, what is the role of professional in a democratic society? Well, I brought this up with a colleague of mine last week, and she made a statement how it was an unanswerable question because there are so many different professions out there in the world. Where I agree with her there is no one correct answer, I have to disagree that it's not answerable. So if you were to please, join me as I dive into this topic. Before we can figure out the roles of a professional, we first need to confirm what a society is. Most people would express that societies are a group of people who live in a geographic area. While this is true, that's not societies at the core. For societies to function, there are three key value systems that need to work together: economic, political, and moral. You can think of each value system as if you were baking a cake. You need three key ingredients: eggs, oil, and water. If you're missing any of these ingredients, your cake will not bake correctly. If you have too much or too little, the cake might bake, but it won't taste as well. For demonstration purposes, let's pretend that eggs are a society's economic value, oil is its political value, and water is its moral value. When they are balanced and accounted for, the society will thrive and create a good-tasting cake. We'll get back to cake in a moment, but first let's talk about democratic societies. In a democratic society, we value a regulated capitalism for our economic system, we value a representative democracy for our political system, and we value a humanistic religion for our moral system. I bring those up because they are essential to my guiding question. Earlier I talked about how there's not one right answer because there are just so many different professionals out there. Well, for me, as a parent, my role involves educating. Now, this is a requirement for all societies in order to survive. Our value systems must be passed down from generation to generation. I'm also an academic and a hopeful teacher, which is one reason why I read this book, Educating for Action. Now, this talked about... Yeah, you want to read it too? I think you're a little young, but... Well, Liliana, we don't eat books, we read them. And when I read this book, it talked about a lot of different social injustices that are happening within the United States. But it also gave a very clear role for educators, that it's our job in order to point out where these injustices are. Because of this, I fully believe my role in the society is to point out that this society is currently damaged, and so we can find a way to help fix it. Returning to a society's value systems as cake ingredients, here we have the ideal democratic society. However, in 2020, this is not the case. In the past few decades, there has been an overwhelming focus on regulated capitalism, which has started to take over the other two value systems. And now we have a huge imbalance. Here we have our democratic society with the heavy influence on capitalism. Some people may point out this cake does not look the best, but as a capitalistic person would say, you get what you put in. However, this is where we have an issue. Because it's such a heavy focus on capitalism, our cake is very weak and could crumble away at any moment. The COVID-19 pandemic is a prime example of this. If you go online or watch TV, you will see people protesting the stay-at-home orders because they are hurting the economy. The fact that roughly 2 months of little production is causing an avalanche to the economy is exactly why society cannot run on one value system. This is not a cake you would want to eat. Some people may like it, but most people in the society will not. Now that we know what the issue is, how can we fix it? As stated before, we cannot leave one ingredient out. The American society still needs capitalism in order to function, and a cake will not hold together without its eggs. To put it simply, we need more balanced ingredients. Let's try baking this cake. Now, after reconfiguring my ingredients, I have came up with a new cake. If something like COVID-19 were to happen again, we would not be in as big of a mess as we were before. Now, I'm not saying my cake is without its problems. Some people may not like the flavor, other people may not be able to eat it. There is no way to create a utopian society. However, when we treat our moral and our political systems just as important as our economics, we can come up with a society, or cake, that is suitable for most people. It will also be stronger against a global pandemic. Professionals play different roles in society depending on what their professions are. Some professionals do value economics more than politics and morals, and that is fine, provided that there are other professionals that value morals or politics more to balance things out. As an academic in education, my role means I must research It means I must research and provide evidence to issues. I also need to guide the youth into how to solve our problems. I do not have the answers, but I can find where they are and I can help others to find them themselves. Balance in society's value systems will not happen overnight, but we can raise the next generation to value things other than just capitalism, and it will work towards that balance. Remember, you can have your equal society and eat it too. I'm gonna try the cake.